out there. It is me, Matthew David, the Minister of Allowing, and welcome. Tonight is our Sunday night broadcast, and you're going to hear about your life purpose tonight and being present so that you can enjoy your life. So go ahead and just give me a shout out if you're tuning in, and we'll get this train rolling. Just going to give it a few minutes here to catch up and let people get on who wanted to be here. So your life purpose is important to you, and it's also important to me. So the whole purpose of someone who is a minister is to be in service to you. And that's what I do. And I'm going to tell you how I got here in a brief little quick nugget so that you can see my reasoning. And then we're going to apply that to your life. So welcome, everyone. Grab a pencil and a paper, or a pen and paper, for tonight's broadcast. Take your time and do that, and I'll go through some of the comments here. We've got hi, aloha, hello, everyone. Smiley face, I love it. Hello. And Abel and Judy are here. Welcome. We've got a lot of highs on the board. We got hellos. Awesome. I'm from KC SA2. All right. As I was just saying, before we start tonight, this is about you. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about me. I want you to get a pencil or a pen and paper, and we're going to do some soul searching if you're looking for your life purpose. And we should be able to clarify and get this locked down. And the reason why it's important for you is because the only place your prosperity is guaranteed is in the place of your assignment, your purpose in life. So if you want to guarantee prosperity, then you need to be in the place that God created you to be. And that's my job. My job is to help you if something's missing. So we'll open it up to questions at the end, and we'll clarify what is going to be brought forth here. But I want to give you an idea of who you are in God's creation, and specifically what might be a good path for you if you're looking and you're just thinking, hey, maybe there's another path for me. It seems like, the windows of heaven are not opening up to me in this current reality. So what gives? Well, before I give you your purpose in life, it's also not fair for me not to tell you how to align with God's laws of prosperity, because regardless of what happens, you're going to have to align with those laws. And that's real simple. Let me see if I can write this on the screen. I don't know if this will work here, but here's what I want you to do. Let's see if this works. Did this work? There you go. Go to that website right there at MatthewDavidHurtado.com. Not right now, obviously. Just listen to me right now. But what you're going to learn is you're going to learn the foundational structure of my ministry. And my ministry is about allowing, and it's about aligning with God's laws of prosperity. And I'll tell you how I got here, why it's important to knowing, in addition to your your purpose in life. So I guess I'm going to leave that up there. Let's see if I can hide that now. There we go. And I'm going to put some questions up on the screen, and I want you to answer them with your pen or pencil. So I'm going to just check the board, make sure that people are still trying to join right now. So I'm going to start approving more people as they come in, and backtracking just a bit. All right. So, well, all you guys are saying hello. I love it. I'm saying hello right back to you. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight is a great opportunity for all of us to discern who you are in God and where you are destined to be. So grab a pen, grab a paper, And we're going to get started here talking about you. Again, I want you to know what these are. The 3-2-1 prosperity formula. This is important. It's at my website, and I gave you the link just a minute ago, MatthewDavidHurtado.com. The prosperity formula is important because you need to know that you can be under covenant with God. You can have a covenant with your Creator. And I'm not going to give you the whole 3.5-hour lecture about what that is. Just know that you can hear about it on that website. And the reason why the covenant is important for you is because when the world gives you turbulence and the world tries to beat you down, because it will, because the world is under the control of the Luciferian matrix program. Satan was handed over the world. It talks about that in the book of Job. And so, like Job, you're going to have to remain diligent in your praising of God. Praise God. Psalm 135 is a good read for you. Praise God. Just read Psalm 135. And Psalm 91 is great too, the prayer of protection. And let's just get this thing started tonight. So I'm going to put some questions up on the board. And I want you to answer these questions, and they will help you discover what your unique calling in life is. So here's what I want you to write first on your paper. Let's see, ask you to. This is very important. I want you to ask your 2 best friends what you talk about all the time. What comes out of your mouth all the time that you just cannot stop babbling about? It's important that you discern what that is. So while people are still joining, I'm going to allow them to come in the room. I want you to take a wild guess and a wild stab at this. I want you to take a wild guess at what you think you talk about all the time. And just write down like the top 3 things. Just put a list of 3 things and put down what you think you talk about all the time. This is going to be a wild clue to lead you down the rabbit hole. And I'm going to go nice and slow so we don't confuse this and we don't mess it up, and I'll open it up for individual questions at the end. All right, so now I'm going to give you an example of myself, okay? I'm going to tell you how this comes together for me so succinctly and so perfectly that it really narrows down who I am and what my purpose is. And consequently, this is what my prosperity is. So I want to tell you what I talk about incessantly, and I have for the past probably 7 years. Number 1 would be God. Number 2 would be how much I hate corruption, especially at the level of government. And number 3 would be health, absolute health, well-being, freedom in all areas. Okay. Very good, Liz. Health and wealth. I like that. That's I'm a messenger. Very good. Health and wealth. All right. Now the next question I want you, or not, it's not even really a question for you to ask someone else. It's really I'm asking you to write this down. Let me go ahead and type this up on here for you. Oh, this is a good one right here. Tell me this. Whose pain can you not tolerate? Write it down. Whose suffering can you not stand? Like you just can't tolerate it. This is important. It's another clue. It's going to guide you right in. It's like we're, fixing our sights to narrow this down real specific. So I'll tell you what I came up with is mine are people who are unjustly attacked by Satan through sickness, loss, disease, or persecution. I have never in my life been okay with people who are unjustly attacked by demonic forces. And the reason why is because I have been unjustly attacked so many times in my life, and I've had to endure so many storms, and God has been faithful and always present in all of those storms. And so God is the first love of my life, and that's what I'm all about. So very good. So you guys are getting this. Those who are bullied, Liz says, very good. Your wife's, okay, good. Obsession with 100 pips a week on a high level, money, fasting, and cellular regeneration, good.
Hello, it's Amanda with Alpha Upgrade. This is my favorite ritual. MOCAINE is a chocolate fat-burning energy-boosting formula that allows you to crush it. MOCAINE is packed with adaptogens, minerals, and vitamins to help you combat stress, always on your A game. It has brain-boosting power ingredients like bacopa, L-triosine, and more for the ultimate dopamine rush. Hence the name, MOCAINE.
Good. So you guys are getting this all down for yourself, all right? This is for you to know about you. So you keep putting this down, and now we are going to drive this down a little deeper and narrow it down even further. All right, so let's see. Now this is a big one right here. Okay, here comes the next one. You're gonna have to take a moment to think about this, and I want you to just go into a meditative state. And here it is. What would you do with your time if you woke up a billionaire tomorrow, and then the end's supposed to say with zero responsibilities? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes, and we're going to do the ABC break process. And I'm going to take you to a solution consciousness. I teach this in my book, Allow, my #1 best-selling book, my first one. And this is the pivotal transformation piece for all of the work I do, because it gets you to solution consciousness. So close your eyes, and I want you to just say, could I accept for just this moment my life to be exactly as it is? For just this moment. Yes or no? Either answer is correct. And could I allow my life to be exactly as it is, even more, for just this moment? Yes or no? Now, I want you to go to a place of relaxation, some place that you just find serenity and peace. It could be a beach. It could be a special room. It could be something you made up in your imagination. Go to a place of serenity and peace and love, and just relax. And allow your body to loosen up like you're floating in a pool of water, and let the stress and the tension just go. You don't have to do anything. Now, I want you to imagine that you're waking up in the most beautiful dream home that you could ever possibly fathom for yourself. And you're suddenly a billionaire. You have no financial responsibilities anymore. And you don't have to be anywhere at any time. You have servants doing all of the daily necessities that need to get done for you. And I want you to go ahead and consciously know what you would do with your time if this were suddenly the reality that you woke up in. What would you do with your time to be valuable and constructive and to give you fulfillment? What would you do with your day? Now, as you think of these things, I want you to put down some of these ideas on that paper. What would you do with your day? I'll give you an example of what I put down. Every time I tell you this, I got to give you an example so you can get an idea here. I said I would teach people how to live a life of peace, prosperity, and happiness with freedom. Well, that's exactly what I do. So I never woke up a billionaire, but I did wake up a millionaire back in 2013. And I had complete time freedom and financial freedom. And then I realized what I wanted to do with my life is to serve in this capacity. And then the next year I started writing, and et cetera, et cetera. So you don't have to actually have the prosperity before you start doing this. In fact, if you start doing this first, the prosperity will be guaranteed because you'll be in your place of assignment. So write down those ideas for yourself. And now I have, I'm going to give you like another minute to finish that up, because the next question is going to require you to do some more introspection and some more thinking on your past. So this is going to be the next assignment right here. All right, we got a lot of good things. I'd like to help people. Now, if you wrote down, I'd like to help people, could you be a little more specific? And if you wrote down having creative fun, could you please be a little more specific about helping others in creative fun? I'll give you an example. I'll be specific. If I suddenly woke up a billionaire in my dream home and I had no responsibilities, I think what I would do specifically is I would write my next book, and I would pay people a lot of money to research really deep hidden truths, and I would set up bigger workshops, and I would produce more value because I would have the means to put it into a bigger ministry. That's what I would do. Specific. I want you to be specific. Very good. Share the PTSD cure. That's very good. All right, we got, I want to teach people how to empower themselves in all areas of life. Good. That's very good. You're getting, see, now we got to be specific. That's good. I would like to teach people who they are and how powerful they are, being creators and all. Very good. License ideas and give people freedom to people. Okay. I educate children the power of their subconscious mind. So even if they are in unfavorable circumstances, they have a better chance. I like that a lot. That's very good. That's very specific. You see, that is really specific. I like the very specific ones. They're very, very good. So creative fun, teaching mindfulness and personal development. Great. All right. Dr. Amen SPECT brain scan, new standard for psychiatry. All right. So good. We got a lot of these coming in. So this is great. This is what I'm asking for. You're very specific. Now let's get on to the next one. And this is one I want you to reflect on. And here it is. Well, it'll show me. For some reason, the comment section are jammed. I can't post this. Really weird. Let me, all right. Well, I can't post this for some reason because the comments jammed on me. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to remember when you were 12 years old. 12 years old. And it's a Friday night. What did you do at age 12 on a Friday night that was not a leisurely activity? Thank you, Liz. You see that posted on the Friday night? On a Friday night, and it's not a leisurely activity. This is what your before the age of 13, before you became adulterated, all right? This is important. Before you became adulterated, what did you do? All right, good. So you guys got answers coming up. Here's what I did. I played wrestling, sports, and I talked on the phone a lot. I talked on the phone a lot, and music. I did a lot of those things. So you guys put down, played basketball, always at church, LOL. All right. Create coloring books. Well, you know, I got a place in my heart for this. Dr. Wallach, the must-have for minerals. I do love Dr. Wallach. you know, my company, Complete Essentials, has ionic angstrom-sized minerals with the fulvic acid, and we get into Ken Rolla's stuff with spinning through the vortex. Minerals are so important. I'll always share the story about minerals. So Liz sang in your room. All right, very good. So you guys can write this stuff down. It's important. And all right, so played with Barbie dolls and still do. Nice. Played hockey, listened to music, looked for excitement. Sounds like me, actually. I did a lot of that. Talked on the phone, played basketball. All right, so you guys got a lot of good things. Okay, so now what I want you to write down are the top 5 things that you are passionate about right now at this time of your life. Just put a list of 1 through 5 and write down the top 5 things that you are passionate about right now. All right, so while we wait for that, I'll put some more of these up. Cut grass, door to door, loved it. See, now there's an entrepreneur right there. If you were cutting grass door to door at that age, you're an entrepreneur of some kind. Not still, honestly, I'd sing. Singing is very popular now with all the the live singing that's going on. Conscious Morning. I know who that is. And we've got played records, sang along with them, played with Hot Wheels. You played with Hot Wheels when you were 12. That's interesting. I guess my parents didn't let me play with them when I got to that age. I wish they would have let me keep going, but they weren't too happy about me playing with toys at that age. Making YouTube videos, truth, God, creation, health, and law. Winning Duncan yo-yo tournaments. Sweet. There's an entertainment capacity right there. That's craftiness. That's skill. Making YouTube videos. This is for right now, so I got that. Dr. Live Off PTSD, cure with nerve block. That's interesting. Never heard of that before, but there's always a new thing. There's always something new out there. All right, so you guys are getting a glimpse of a lot of ideas that are narrowing this down for you. So can anybody here start to see a constellation of what's coming together? Can you start to see a picture of who you are now that you've started to put this on paper? Are you starting to get an idea of like where you stand? Like, this is what I'm really about. Politics, fitness, coaching, prosperity, travel. Just tell me. Here we go. Here's a list. Getting financially free, specific numbers, peak physical, feeling sexy and powerful, helping a few people along the way, imagining a future company. That was a pretty full list. Let me see about this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at something. But tell me, guys, if you guys are starting to see this constellation coming together here. These are your answers. I'm not making this up for you, just so you know. This is you. So, all right. So, all right. Let me go and change this up a bit. So let's see what you guys put here. Love Joe Dispenza. Yep, Joe Dispenza's got some great work. Change your brain, change your life. I really don't know where my musical inclination fits in with the rest of my stuff. Well, what is music? What is your inclination with music? It's freedom of expression. It's expressing yourself. That's what you're doing. It's not a mystery to me. That's what you're actually doing. The question is blocking the comments you are sharing. Oh, yeah. Is it hidden now, Liz? Tell me if it's hidden. I'm not sure because my button is jammed on this BeLive.tv TV broadcast thing. So not too excited about how my question got jammed, but it did. Anyway, let's see. Teaching is many. I love the excellence. Is that question still up on the board? Can somebody tell me yes or no? Like, do I have a blank screen yet, or is it still popping that question? It's still visible.
I'm Chris with Complete Essentials. Do you want to feel your best every day? Not sure what vitamins or supplements to use? Minerals are the currency of life. Minerals are the most important fuel our bodies require. Without minerals, vitamins cannot work. Shockingly, most people are deficient because our food supply lacks what we need. Discover the fuel your body needs to get moving again and reap the life-changing benefits. Our free Mineral Secrets course, Monotomia, is the answer. Health means everything, so go to monotomia.com and get the info now.
How about now? See if it is if it's gone yet, because I can't take it down. And let's see, what's the agenda? All right, well, let me tell you what I put down. So it is down. Are you saying it is down now? That's what a yes is? It's up. It's still there. Oh, great. Well, this is really strange because they shouldn't have jammed so easily. That's not cool. Let's see if I put something else up there, what it'll do. Nothing. What's the agenda? Plan ahead? Nope. Well, just so you know, if you guys use BeLive.tv, don't copy and paste your question in the broadcast section part because it could get jammed. That's what happened. I copied and pasted. Anyway, we're going to keep going. Here's what I put down. I put down for my top 5 things I'm passionate about. Number 1 was fitness. Number 2 was God. Number 3 was the laws of prosperity, God's money system. Number 4 was health. And number 5 was freedom. And so here's what I want you guys to know from this is that number 1 on your list is usually your obsession. And number 2 is sort of filler. Number 3 is the heart of the matter. That's really where you should focus and look in at to see where the clue is. And that's what I want to tell you about the list. That's how your unconscious mind works. It triads. So it comes out in a 1, 2, 3, just like that. So like this one, if you guys can even see it, no, probably not because that other thing's up there. But what I have, you saw what I put down was all about fitness was number 1. That's the obsession. Number 2 was God. Number 3 was the laws of prosperity, God's laws, God's money system. That's my passion. That's my heart of the matter, number 3. And the reason why it's my heart of the matter is because whose pain can I not tolerate? It's because I can't tolerate people who are unjustly attacked by satanic, demonic things. Why? Because when I had Lyme disease and I was bedridden and bankrupt and they took everything from me, the currency, I had none, and nobody was there to help me at all. The government didn't help me. My friends didn't help me. I had nothing except for faith. And since I had God and I had faith, I started to learn God's money system and I started tithing, and God prospered me. And so when I saw the hand of God and I saw the magic that God has in store for you under the covenant, when you become a covenant partner with God, the world system doesn't matter anymore because God's system is outside of the world system. And so that's my heart, that's my passion. And so when I look back to when my life started, you know, on Friday nights, I used to talk on the phone a lot, and I was usually, to be honest with you, talking to a girlfriend like, oh, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And really what I was doing is think about what I was really doing. I was looking for God's love in all the wrong places. because that's what we do when we're young and we're kind of naive and we look for love outside of ourselves. And that you can be 25, 35, 50 doing this. You can be looking for love in the wrong places all the time, because your partner is not the source of your love. God is the source of love, and your partner is a mirror reflection of who you are at this time of your life. Okay, so if you ascend to a high enough level, then your partner will be at a much higher caliber. Okay. And so when I was young, I used to have a lot of little flingy relationships. And so when I was on the phone, I was immersing myself in what I thought was love. So that's a clue. So the Friday night thing, what I did was a clue. That's what I did, and that was a clue. Whose pain can I not tolerate? I just told you. That's another clue. What do I talk about all the time? Blah, 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 blah. That's a clue. So can you guys see all of the clues? Now tell me, anybody out there, does anybody out there have an idea of what their life purpose is after looking at this mind map? Does anybody have a clue? Can anybody narrow it down and say, this is what I'm supposed to do? Bam. If you can, put it out there. Let's see what you came up with. And I'll just wait to see the responses. Mediation is huge. I think you mean meditation. I saw mediation. Yes. You got through it like I got through chronic fatigue syndrome. Yep. Chronic fatigue syndrome. I know that one very well. Spiritual teacher. All right. Very good. Spiritual teacher. All right. I can't post it, unfortunately, because the thing's not working. Curator of freedom systems. Now that's really neat. That's very neat because that's very specific and it's unique. So spiritual teacher, we got that one. And right now I'm supposed to get free and upgrade my lifestyle to be an example. Nothing more yet. All right. Now here's the big question I want to ask you guys. Is anybody here currently in the bullseye of who you're supposed to be in the world, like sitting in the place of your prosperity? Anybody? If you are, then give me a big heck yes on the board. Say, yes, I am in my place of prosperity. And if you're not, just say, no, I'm not. So we have here, not leading to my own understanding, adjusting my vibration, results from my business based on the new system I've adopted. Heck no. All right. So we got a heck no. Spiritual healer, author, successful global icon, live God's potential, messenger. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Now look at the trend here. Now, I'm going to tell you why you're not. I'm going to tell you why you're not. And this actually, okay, we got one, heck yes, with God. Very good. If you're not there, I'm going to tell you why you're not there. And the reason why is that you really have to follow that 3-2-1 prosperity formula to the T. And I'm not kidding. The forgiveness issue is so important. I believe everybody should have a covenant with God. I know from experience and from thousands of people that tithing is magic. And I know that following your fastest path to your joy in every moment will lead you into that place by default. So following the fastest path to your joy in every moment will lead you to that place by default if you get out of your head. If you can get out of your head. Now, Jesus said, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or drink, or what you shall wear for the morrow. So why do you do it? Why do you constantly, incessantly think about what's going to happen even an hour from now, or a week from now, or even, God forbid, a year or 2 years from now? Why do you do it? Can anybody give me a good answer why you do that? Can anybody tell me, please? Because here's what I want to suggest to you, that you can replace the word think with fear. You can say, well, I fear that in 2 hours from now, this, or hey, in a year from now, I fear. So whenever you say, hey, this is what I think, I want you to say, hey, this is what I fear, or this is what I'm resisting right now. Use the word resisting or fear when you talk about thinking, because most of our thinking is based on our stimulation that we're receiving with past reference points as how we are ciphering what we think is happening. And if we continue to operate from past reference points, we're going to continue to use that logic to create the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's like having a cookie cutter that you keep chopping like a franchise making burgers, and the cutter is the same mold every time, and it keeps replicating the same experience over and over. So I see I have a faith mentality. Faith is a lot more rare than one would think. Well, okay. I understand where you could surmise that, but it says in the Bible, everyone has been poured out the same level of faith. So your ability to use your faith in the direction of trust in God, as opposed to trust in the world system of fear, slave consciousness, is what is rare. So whose system are you operating in? Are you a tither? Do you practice forgiveness and repentance? Those are the only two things God ever required of you, forgiveness and repentance. And if you want to be prospered, you come under the covenant with the tithe. And then following the fastest path to your joy is how you get into the attitude or the will of God. So who here can't do that? Who here thinks that's too much because it requires too much faith? Be honest. Let's just put that up. So it says, since you pick up energies from people, places, and things around you all the time. Wow, past reference point, lots of good Christians in fear and therefore not having faith. Well, that's correct, because if you are entertaining fear, you are becoming one with Satan, because Satan is the author of fear. God never gave you a spirit of fear. You are conjoining yourself to a satanic curse. So what benefit could that possibly bring you? Go into forgiveness and forgive yourself for that. So forgiveness is so powerful, and following the fastest path to your joy is really how you take no thought for your life. So how do you be present? It's the discipline of consciously focusing on the no thing, the space between the sounds, the silence between the notes, the white paper between the words you read on the books, the space. The space is the no thing, and the space is the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient aspect of creation, because 99.99997% of all creation is what? It's empty space. So the space is the infinite potential. It is God's presence. So you focus your attention on the present. Now, here is, yes, you can focus on your breath as well. Here is the key. The idea that using willpower to make something happen is how human beings created evil on the planet. You see, in the beginning, in the Garden of Eden, there was no evil on the planet. Everybody was God reliant. As in, God promised to supply everything, all needs met. And then the serpent, you know the story, and then taking thought for something of good and evil. And then that creates the ego and then the human mind through the 6 degrees of separation, the who, what, when, where, why, and how, through the inner, middle, and outer kingdoms. What it does is it comes up with this idea that willpower will get you there. And willpower is an animal propensity. Willpower is an affirmation that I am self-reliant. Willpower is your first step towards self-reliance. And that is one step away from trusting. So how do we do this? If we're not going to do willpower, take your animal propensity for willpower and put it behind your eyes right here and focus on the present moment and use your willpower to become present to the present in the space and stay right there, because that is the only place God can give you revelation when you are listening. I told you to read Psalm 135. It says, those who have eyes but do not see, those who have ear but do not hear, they're the heathens that are chasing the gold and silver. God doesn't want you to be a heathen chasing the gold and silver. God wants you to be present and remain still and know that I am God. And when you do that and you use your willpower to focus on the present, staying present to the present, then it's as simple as choosing the will of God, which is an attitude and not a place. And the attitude is joy. God created all of his children, which you are, to live in joy. And joy is the absence of judgment, where we are always deciding good and evil, right and wrong, etc. And when you start to make that your will, in other words, when your will comes into alignment with God's will for you, that's when all of the magic starts coming into your present moment, because now you're finally giving God the honor. You're giving God the honor where the favor can flow into the present moment for you in a new space outside of the past confines of logic. Let's face it, if your logic could get you there, you'd already have it. Wouldn't you agree? So whose logic is more important, yours or God's? So surrender the little part of you, the ego, for the grander part, the God that is always present, in the present, always in communion with you. And watch what happens with your reality as you realize that to worry is to commit sin, and to fear and doubt is to commit sin. And the sin blocks you from the blessing. So when you're afraid of doing what you are supposed to do with your life, your sheet tells you who you are. When you're afraid to do that, that's not going to get you into the place of prosperity where it is guaranteed, because there are multiple layers of sin happening that you might not even consider sin. But anything that is not of faith is displeasing to God, and it is sin. So that's my transmission I wanted to give you. If you want to remember this transmission, just share it. Click share and put it on your Facebook wall, and other people can see it too if you want them to, or just keep it for yourself and then you can have it. So ground your skin touching the ground to help. That can help you. Yeah, grounding can help you, but you don't have to ground all the time. You can just be present to the present wherever you're at. Right now, I can be present with you. That's how I come up with these transmissions. I don't really sit around and plan this stuff. I just turn it over to God, and God says, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm your servant. Let's go for it. Let's do it.
Are you feeling embarrassed and stuck because you can't focus or concentrate? I have a confession to make. I spent years unable to think clearly, like I was in a fog. I was going through the motions, running my companies, and I hated feeling groggy and mentally sluggish. I couldn't get ahead like this. It's no secret, the powers that be want us dumbed down. Chemicals, fluoride, our brains are under siege, and we are experiencing lower IQs. But now there's a weapon to fight back and win. Introducing DNA Evolve, a revolutionary breakthrough in a category of cognitive enhancers called nootropics. I've been using DNA Evolve and couldn't feel better. For me, it works. It feels great to get things done again and get ahead. Try a free sample for yourself at DNAEvolveSample.com. That's DNAEvolveSample.com. Supplies are limited, so go to DNAEvolveSample.com right now.
And so that is how it plays out. So I have a few minutes for some questions. If you guys have some questions, just put them up on the board and I'll give you some answers. And I thank you so much for taking the time and allowing me to minister to you, because you're helping me be in my place of passion. And this is what I love doing. And this is what I have made an agreement to God to do, is that I'll get out of the way, God, for you. I'll get out of the way. I'll get out of Matthew David Hurtado's ego and allow you to communicate. And that's what I suggest you do as well, is just long enough, surrender your will long enough so that God can just do a little bit through you. And once God does a little bit, you're going to say, wow, that was cool. How about you do a little more? And you'll see what'll happen. So it says, what about planning or doing a calendar? Well, you can do that. If you're like maybe a content curator and you're designing like a 30-day calendar for, you know, some of your social media marketing or something, or yeah, but when you design the calendar, be present to the present when you do it. Don't leave the moment and go off in your head while you're creating it. Just like I said, you do it now. So when you're creating the calendar, do it now in this space, allowing God to put it out there. And don't be attached, because what happens in, say, the time you get there, when it looks like 3 weeks from now, and you say, wait a minute, I think God has something else on my heart. Well, go with that instead. Don't be rigid. Don't be stuck in what the mind. Always be open and adaptable. Always be ready. Because what happens is when you follow your excitement and your joy in every moment, it can take you on a winding path, and you should be willing to do that. Be willing to be flexible, because every time you go in another direction, you're picking up another breadcrumb that you left for yourself to find your way back home. And that's what it looks like. So what meditations do I recommend? Well, I like any meditation. Okay, let's just make it simple. I like to keep it simple. I do the box breathing in the nose 5 seconds, and then hold it at the top 5 seconds. Breathe out the nose 5 seconds, hold it at the bottom 5 seconds. I like to do that for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's real simple. And after that, my brain waves are in alpha. And then from alpha, I usually drop them even into theta. And then once I drop them into theta, what happens is suddenly this starts to open up for me, and I can start to see things. And what I do from there is I just allow myself to let go completely. And then usually I fall asleep when I get that deep. So that's what I do in a meditation when I'm doing a meditation. And that's a deep one. Wim Hof breathing is great, but that's not a meditative breathing. Wim Hof is to super saturate the body for, you know, doing the things Wim Hof does. And there's a lot of value to it. But when you do this fast stuff that he does, that's not really meditation whatsoever. Gamma breath is online. All right. Seal, that's right. That's the Mark Divine. You know, that's what he learned when he learned yoga, that he teaches the seals, the box breath. We all could become ministers of God and prosper. Well, if God calls you to the ministry, you'll know because the doors will open up. You know, I declared that I will serve God, and I was prophesied over years ago that this would happen. And all of a sudden, the doors opened up. People came in that wanted to teach me more about the Bible. And then I found an organization that took me in, and I'm a member of a sacred order right now. The Templars, actually, they still exist. And those are the original Crusades. And it's kind of fascinating, actually. So the doors will open. If God wants you, the doors will open, and they'll open fast, but you need to give God the honor. You need to let God in order to find your destiny. And so, yes, I think God needs a lot more ministers. I think at this time on the planet, I think God needs an army, and I think God is raising up an army. That's just my personal opinion. Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations are excellent. Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's it right now. My computer battery is about to say night-night, and I'm about to drink some water, and I'm going to lay down and do some reading before I go to bed. It's been a pleasure. Hope you guys got some benefit out of this, and don't be afraid to share it and share the knowledge, because as you share it, you actually increase yourself. Whatever you give comes back to you. And so give knowledge, give wisdom, give love, give hugs, give everything you want to receive, and start to live from that place of I am the seed, and whatever I put out comes back, and just start to trust that God has all of the details already planned, and you just have to just be present to the present. Take care, guys. God bless and love you.
Listen, Joey, you're wasting your time with all this secret law of attraction stuff. You've been trying to build your internet company for years. I'm tired of waiting for my cut. You know, let me tell you something. 10% of zero is still zero, right?
I'm sorry, Don. It's just that I buy all these online courses and they never work. Then the old lady comes down on me for spending the money. I get negative and, you know, it bothers me. That's all. It's a terrible situation. What can I do?
Listen, Joey, I'm gonna send you to the rabbi, otherwise known as the hurt man, to put to rest this cycle of sabotage. He ain't cheap, but he gets the job done. That's what matters, right? So listen here. 9, 10, 11 of November, you're going to Madison, Wisconsin.
I don't know. My wife says we got bills to pay. The kids are planning a day at the jump house. And I want to start this new ad campaign. I think it will work this time. Don, it will work. I have this feeling. Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. Look at me. Look into my eyes. You should be knocking down at least 10 grand a month for the family, but you barely scrape by. The thought of you doing more thinking just makes me nervous. And I don't like to get nervous, you know that, right? Let me give you some business sense. You're missing at least 120 grand per year for achieving your goals. And you know why? Tell me. You know why? It's because of you. You are the problem. If you keep doing the same things, you can't expect different results. You're stuck. I don't want you to be a bum.
It hurts me when you say it like that, Don. You can't just put me on the shelf. Come on. I just got some problems that need to be fixed. I'm a smart guy. I'm ambitious. I want to work. I want to make it big. That's why I'm here, Kabish, to ask for your help.
The rabbi is going to straighten you out, Joey. He's gonna take 2 of you into his workshop. But one ain't leaving. You feel me? He's gonna take that victim out of you and toss him into the river. I've been there. Let me tell you what I saw with my own eyes. He called Vic a lying worm, while Vic was saying he was doing things to better himself. Vic's blood rushed to his face. He was so red he became like a tomato. You know, he made him stand up and do 5 SETs, self-entrainment technique. And I saw him change. His old negative self died right there in front of me. What I saw next was beautiful. What emerged was great. For the first time I saw Vic in his power. He became a real man. I don't know how he sat down in that chair with cojones that big, but you know, it just happened. It happened like this. Boom. The rabbi has a special weapon that he's gonna bring in November, and he's gonna show you how to use it. You've got only 2 choices. Stay stuck and think yourself into more suffering, or be transformed. I highly suggest that you take option number 2 and get your paper up, Joey. Let's drink some MOCAINE and go to allowuniversity.com. And that's it. I got a VIP spot for you, Joey. Oh yeah. So what you waiting for? Come on. Drink MOCAINE, call Sabrina, and get yourself a spot and be there.
I understand, Don.
I think we both know this is the right decision, right? Of course.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. I'm gonna drink some MOCAINE.
My smart guy. My Joey, now I recognize you, finally. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. You know what? I'm gonna call Sabrina. Let me call Sabrina. For you. Hey, who's there? Oh, this is Paulie. I think he brought some MOCAINE for you. Are you ready to join the ride?